Hello friends, this is Durga again from IT Varsity. At this time we are talking about Cloudera Certified Associate Spark and Hadoop Developer. And so far we have covered import data from a MySQL database into HDFS using Sqoop as part of the first topic, data ingestion. And now we are talking about export data to a MySQL database from HDFS using Sqoop. We have seen the default export command. In this video I will take the export command a little bit further and try to show you how to um, do the export when we have to upsert or merge the data into the MySQL database. Earlier we have seen a plain export, and what it will do is it will read the data from HDFS files and generate insert commands and insert into the MySQL table. But at times you might have to update the existing data. For that, first let us cook up the data. So we have in HDFS we have directory called fs-ls user Cloudera Sqoop import and departments. So we will use departments table for this demonstration, and we can see that there is one file over there, and if you cat that, there are 8 records in the table. And if you go to MySQL database by logging in as retail underscore dba minus p, or we can even do eval, and this is the source table using which we have imported. Here also we have 8 records, 2 to 7, 2 to 8, and then 8000. Here also you can see 2 to 8 and 8000. So the dataset matches. So I would like to demonstrate how to import into this table called departments, where a few of the existing records are updated and also new records are inserted. So for that, what I'm trying to do is I will insert 2 records into, or I will place 2 records into one of the HDFS directory, and I will show how to export where data has to be merged. So for that I am creating a file, vi departments export. This is the file name, and I will say, let me see the data set. I will say 7 and then fan shop without space in fan shop, and f and s to be small compared to fan shop, which is in mixed case in the original data. And then I am inserting new record 9000 testing export and save it and come out cat departments export. There are 2 records, and let me create a directory under user Cloudera Sqoop import departments underscore export. So a new directory is created. Okay, it's already there. Let me see if there are any files in that. If there are any files, I will delete those files. They are there because when I was playing with them, probably I might have created the directory already. So there are files also, so let me delete the directory first and recreate it. Okay, now the directory is deleted, and now I am recreating it. So I have generated data 2 records in the local file, and I have created a directory called departments underscore export in HDFS under user Cloudera Sqoop import. Now I have to copy this directory, which is in local file system, under /home/Cloudera. This is the under local file system, which I have updated earlier. So I'm trying to give the full path of this file, and then I want to copy it to this location. Copy and paste. Okay, now it is copied. Let me see. Now I am doing ls command to validate, and you can see that there is a file with name departments underscore export under directory departments underscore export. It is a file because there is no D here. If there is a D here, it is a directory, otherwise it is a file. This one is directory, user Cloudera import department export. This one is directory, and this is the file under this directory. Why I am re-emphasizing is because you guys can get confused between the directory departments underscore export and the file departments underscore export, which is under the directory departments underscore export. Anyway, now we will use this path, or let me do one thing. Let me give a different name. Copy, paste, export.csv, and hit enter. Okay, I have to give the file name. So then now you can do ls command, and you will see export.csv as the file name. So we will use this directory. We have to pass the directory only as part of the export command. So the command looks like this: Sqoop export ---- connect username, password, and table name in MySQL itself. Our table name is departments only, and then our path is this one. So these 4 parameters are for MySQL. We are using retail underscore DBA username for retail underscore DB database with password Cloudera and table name departments, and this is the HDFS directory from which we are trying to export. And the major difference between the previous command and this command is these 2 parameters, which are update minus key and update minus mode. So you have to so if you go back to the documentation under Sqoop user guide, you can see that as part of the control arguments in export, you have these 2 parameters, update key and update mode. Update key, you have to give the key name. If you are using composite key, it should be a primary key or unique key. You cannot give any column as update key. It has to be a primary key or unique key which have a unique index under the covers. If it is a composite, you can give comma separated also, but if you don't give primary key or a unique key, it will not fail, but it will create duplicates in the data set. And then update mode, there are 2 parameters, update only and allow insert. When you do update only, it will only do the updates if there is a matching keys in the data set. For example, in our data set where we have an existing record 7 and a new record 9000, this new record will not be inserted if you use the update mode as update only, and that is the default. So if you actually have to insert or update depending upon if data does not exist or exists, then you have to give allow insert. So you have to give update key and give the primary key or unique key columns separated by comma, and then update mode has to be allow insert to simulate the merge or upsert operation. Upsert stands for update and insert. That being said, let me go ahead and run this query. Copy and paste. Now the query is running. Once it is done, we will run this eval query to see whether the results will change from in 7 it should be small fan shop, a single word, and then we have to see a new record with 9000. You can see that this record is changed, so existing record is updated and a new record is inserted. Okay, now let me demonstrate one more scenario here. I am deleting the directory departments underscore export under Sqoop import. Here I am giving relative path. You can give the complete path user Cloudera Sqoop import, or you can give the relative path also. Absolute or relative path both work. Here I have given relative path to delete the departments underscore export. And now what I will do is I will again open this file. VA. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. CD VI departments underscore export. Here let me create a new record with 10,000 testing export and fan shop to its original value. Okay, and I am renaming it to departments underscore export to export.csv, and then I am running the put command, Hadoop minus put export.csv, which is a file in local file system. I am copying it to Hadoop under user Cloudera Sqoop import. Okay, first I need to create the directory because I removed the directory also. I am creating the departments export directory, and then I have to run the put command. The file name is export.csv and this is the target path. Now hit enter. Now let us do the ls command. You can see the export.csv. Let us run the cat command to validate the results to make sure that we are copying the correct data. Export.csv. So we have 7 with fan space drop and 10,000, which is a new record. And now I am running the Sqoop export command. Without update mode, which will be by default update only, and hit enter. Now we will see that only 7 will be updated and the 10,000 will not be inserted. So it is done now, and let me run the eval command. You can see that only 7 is updated and 10,000 is not inserted. A fan shop, which is a single letter with all small letters, has changed to whatever value we have updated to in the export.csv file, and that is updated without any issues. So it is very important to understand that when you want to merge a data set from HDFS into a MySQL database, you have to use both update key and update mode, and with update mode as hello insert, and then only it will work. I will demonstrate one more scenario just to make sure. So in this case, what I will do is I am connecting to MySQL retail underscore DBA minus P Cloudera use retail underscore db, and then alter table departments drop primary key. I am dropping the primary key now. So I cannot. What I will do is I will create a new table, create table departments underscore export as select star from departments. Now you can query departments underscore export from departments underscore export, and you can see there are 9 records in the table. Now what I am doing is I am again running the export command. So the difference between the previous table which we have used to export and the new table which we are trying to export is that this table does not have the primary key. And now I am running the command update key department ID update mode LO insert. Only thing is the table is departments underscore export. So and hit enter. So this we are trying to export the same file, the same data which is under export underscore CSV, 2 records with 7 fan space shop as 1 record and 10,000 testing export as another record, and hit enter. Okay, now it is running. What you will see is you will see a duplicate with 7 fan shop and 10,000. You will see both the records. The reason why it will not update the record which already existing is that in the departments underscore export table we don't have the primary key. That's why it will do only the inserts. It is completed. Now you can run select star from departments and you can see that there is a duplicate here. So to recap, update key, whatever column name you give or composite key you give or multiple columns you give should be a unique key or a primary key. And then update mode has to be LO insert, which is not default, so that existing records are updated with the primary key, with the conflicting primary keys, and the new records to be inserted to simulate merge or upset. And by default it's update only. If you just give update key and if you try to run the export, the new records in your dataset will not be inserted into the underlying table. Why I am emphasizing these two things these many times is that there is a high probability that you might get a question on this if they try to test on Sqoop export as part of your examination. So focus on these two very important parameters. You should know all the permutations and combinations of these two. And I will also try to cover these two parameters, staging table and clear staging table. So when you try to export from HDFS into MySQL, your export might fail for several reasons. For example, now we have duplicates in if you have departments table and if you don't have update as part of the command. So I am rerunning the command. So in this case I am exporting into departments table and I am removing this update key. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to insert data into the existing table itself, and I am using departments underscore export only as the directory which have export.csv file with the 2 records 7 and 10,000, and in the departments table both, okay, 7 is already existing, 10,000 does not exist. So let's see what will happen. So we are trying to insert two records into this table. One is with with the department ID 7, and the other is with 10,000. And let's see what happens without update mode or update key. So now this export will run only in insert mode, and hit enter. It will try to insert both 7 and 10,000. So while the job is running, we can monitor this in the browser also. So copy and ask later. See, it started failing, and if it is started failing, it will throw you the error also. There is a duplicate entry 7 for key primary, and it will retry for 4 times. Let me show you. So you can see that even though there is only one map task, there are 4 attempts for the same map task. And if you click on them, each one is failing with the same error. Duplicate entry 7 for key primary. So it's the default behavior that it will try to it will retry 4 times before it gives up. So I have shown one of the scenarios where the export can fail. It could be because there is a primary key on the table. It could be because if you have 1 million records to be exported, and if the after completing 90%, if there is an ordinal column, and when it try to insert the last one, uh, and if the table does not have primary key, what will happen? It will retry 4 times after hitting the last record, and when it tries to insert 4 times, if there is no primary key on the table, there is a chance that there will be duplicates in the table, because it retries 4 times until that not null constraint fails, and the Sqoop exports commit every 1,000 records. So until the last 1,000 records comes, until it tries to export the last 1,000 records as part of the last transaction, it will succeed, and only last one will fail, and that task might run 4 times, and whatever number of records that task try to insert, it will insert 4 times before giving up completely. In those scenarios, there could be duplicates in the table, and if you directly insert data into the final table, and cleaning up and all those things can be nightmare. For that reason, Sqoop supports this staging table concept. So you can create a similar table as the target table as staging table, and you can delete manually before doing Sqoop export every time, or you can clear by you can delete by passing this clear staging table command. It will clean up the staging table, and it will load the data into the staging table, and once the import is successful into the staging table, then only it will do a final copy from staging table into the final table as one single transaction. Because it tries to insert as one single transaction, either the entire import will pass or fail. So your target table will not be inconsistent state. Again, the benefit of this feature is very minimal scenarios, because if it is primary key, it will not create duplicates on the final on the target table, so you don't need to use this staging table concept if you try to if you are trying to import into a table where there are primary keys. Only scenarios where it will help is if your target table, one of the scenarios where it will help is if the target table does not have primary key, to avoid the duplicates to be inserted into the final table because of the failures. You can use the staging table. And also this staging table feature does not work in update mode. With update key update mode, the staging table concept does not work. I'm just emphasizing these 2 parameters also. There is no need to demonstrating it. Just keep in mind that these 2 parameters will not work in tandem with update mode, and also And also the main thing you need to understand is the Sqoop will first load the staging table, and after the complete import is successful, the Sqoop will copy data from the staging table into the final table as part of one transaction, so that the failures does not cause duplicates in our target table. If you want, you can play with those. The syntax and semantics is pretty straightforward. You just have to create the staging table similar to the original table with all constraints, whatever you have on the final table. And if you don't want to manually delete the data, you can pass clear staging table, and it will delete the data before starting the export process into the staging table itself. So that's it. We are done with the export also, typical export also. So far we have covered import and export, all the important parameters that might pop up as part of the examination. And still Sqoop is not done yet. We have to cover another one, changing the delimiter and file format of data during import using Sqoop. They are emphasizing on the import, but few of these concepts are imported for the export also. So I will cover from import as well as export perspective. It might take 2-3 videos to cover all the topics for that item, and I will cover it as part of a few more videos. That being said, I hope you are enjoying the content on my channel, especially of this playlist and this video. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want to ask any questions, either you can use the comment section of the video, or you can ask the questions in Stack Overflow, tagging the question as Sqoop. And also, if you want, you can join my LinkedIn group called Hadoop Certifications, and can start the discussion so that we can collaborate, or you guys can collaborate to finish the certification. That being said, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. You will get to see a lot more content like this over time. Thank you. Bye.